Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and all those other good joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense of the nonsense. And I'm back to do just that. Now, I can see that the YouTubes are not sending out the message in time because you know how it is. Normally, when I post it, there's people kind of waiting. It shows how many people. Lately, it's kind of like I got to start the stream and then all of a sudden people trickle in. So apparently, folks aren't getting the notifications. Or, it could be, y'all might forget that I do a show every night at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in your life. But it looks like it's starting over here. So if it's starting over there, then that means it's sending out some notifications somewhere else. So right about now, we're looking at four people. But we got 4 likes. That's a start. That's a good start. So as you come in, please come in with a like. That's what I want to see you do. Come in with a like. Now, today is Friday, the something merjigger. We don't know. It's Friday, September something merjigger. Now, the number just jumped from 4 to 36. Well, look at that. Somebody said, wow, notified again? That's what I'm talking about. Now some people are starting to say. So I said, give me a shout out. What's up, Mike? Shout out to Mike. Yeah, people are saying I got a notification. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was reading y'all comments from last night too. I go back every night and I watch the show. I rewatch the show so I get a chance to read your comments. And sometimes, man, some of the comments I'll be wishing like, boy, I wish I'd have saw this comment real time because I would have responded or whatever. But I try to catch as many of them as I can as I'm doing the show, just in case something jumps out at me. I'll go ahead and respond, especially when I'm doing the intro and I'm seeing people log in. I'm more likely to catch some things like my man Mike. Gave him a shout out. He just became a part of the show tonight. All right, now, so it's Friday. Hopefully y'all got a few moments to kick it with me. I don't know what else you got to do on a Friday night. Now, hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms, and let me go ahead and get loose so I can get busy, because I'm assuming that y'all can hear me. That's what I'm assuming. Oh, and by the way, tonight we're going to be showing a difference between, a Kamala man and a MAGA man. We're going to be showing a difference, all right, between a MAGA man and a Kamala man. All right, let's get it. Declaring it, beating my chest like real gorilla, real gorilla, real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Yeah, man. So now, if you get a chance, I want you to also check out my Kevin's Corner store. Yeah, you could get all kind of merch there, and the phone number on the screen, 330-974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, just in case I mysteriously disappear from here, we'll be able to at least stay contacted or connected somehow. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some stuff tonight. You know what? I forget what we starting off with tonight. Oh, yeah. Copycat Kamala. So before we get into the Kamala men, because there's rumors going on around there right about now about, Kamala men or men who vote for Democrats aren't quite as masculine as other men. And, and I'll address it when it comes time to talk about it. But we got to do a deep dive in it because, that's a serious accusation. So we want to make sure there's no validity to it before we joke about it or do any of those things. But right now, I want to start off with Copycat Kamala. Yeah, every day when I do my show, I got to expose her. It went from creepy to Kamala. Creepy to crappy. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what she's copycatting this time, y'all. Unbelievable chameleon, man. That's what she is.
Well, behind me, hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses.
Wait a minute. So wait just a minute. Why are all these people behind her leaving and boarding shuttle buses? Now, could it be that she's trying to copy Donald Trump's crowd? Could that be it? I'm just wondering. Because she can't, get a crowd of her own. I'm wondering. So now she got buses. Have you ever been to a Trump rally where they had buses and shuttles and stuff to take you there? Nope, not me. And I've been to many of them. And every time I go, all you see is cars lined up for miles, or you'll see people standing in a line for miles. But what you don't see is
This was
this.
a departure for Kamala Harris.
Look at that. All of those nice fancy buses. Yeah. Yeah. Woo!
Tonight,
And it is a plethora of them, y'all. Man, they were backed up for miles. Now, who's paying for that? Who's paying for these buses? And these people are getting brought in for miles around. What, you can't bring your own crowd? You can't get your own folks? You got to go and bust some folks in. That's unbelievable. So now, I guess the campaign is making it very convenient to get people there. Yeah, it's like, man, I ain't going to see no Kamala Harris. All right, what do we got to do to get you there? Well, I mean, I don't even like getting out of the bed in the morning. We'll send somebody. We'll send somebody to lift you up out the bed. And, well, I mean, it's an inconvenience to have to put clothes on. We'll dress you. We'll dress you. Yeah, but I got to get up to dress. We'll stand you up, put the clothes on you. Okay, I guess that'll work. But then I got to walk outside. We'll carry you. We'll carry you outside. I thought, well, I'm not starting my vehicle. You don't need a vehicle. We'll send a limo for you, take you to the bus, put you on the bus. You don't have to do nothing. You get be limp. We just need bodies. It's unbelievable. So let's see those buses again.
hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses.
Wow.
This was a departure for Kamala Harris.
1, 2, 3, 4. Look at all those yellow buses. I wonder if those are the ones she was talking about. All right, so we got 4. All right, let's see. 5, 6, 7. That's a lot of money, y'all. So we had 7.
Tonight,
I can see 8, and I can't even see the end of the line. But yet I saw a commentator, an operative out there bragging about her crowds. And I'm going, you ain't got nothing to brag about. Those are all fake crowds. So unless y'all are throwing a concert with somebody famous, or y'all are running around picking up folks, giving them some incentive, making it super easy, no sacrifice, no sacrifice. Don't worry, we'll come to you and bust y'all in from God knows where. But that's not the only thing she's copying, y'all. This woman right here is Copycat Kamala. So let's see what else she's copying. This coming from CNN.
K-File investigates. In a new report, you'll see first out front. The K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017.
Uh-oh.
We remember.
And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall.
What? Yeah, along with all the other Democrats that were slamming that border wall. I'm pretty sure she's still consistent because remember, guys, her values haven't changed.
Right?
But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
That's
racism.
That's racism, y'all. Look at her showing all of that racism across the country because that's what the wall represents. It represents racism. Now, out of all the pictures, all the clips she could have picked, she picks the wall. Why? Because walls are deterrent. Because that's a visual that something is being done. That's a visual to show people, look, man, we mean business. I mean, what you think that wall's for? Huh? You think that's an invite? No, the wall is a deterrent. And she knows that. But according to her back then, it was racist, it was stupid, it was all these other things. But now all of a sudden, put that wall in my ad because that's going to make me look smart, make me look tough on the border. Forget about all of my values that I said that I had in the past. And out of all the raggedy networks that highlight this hypocrisy, is CNN. What is going on? Well, let's see.
She took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
And on top of critical tweets,
What?
Harris also wrote in her 2019 book,
What'd she
quote,
say?
there was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out?
Wow. Now, this woman spoke like it was coming from the gut. That quote right there seems like it embodies all of her values. Things that she would never compromise. I mean, she's talking about, look, man, I would never vote for that wall. I mean, it doesn't represent America. Okay, what this says is keep out. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to represent. I don't see what the problem is. Keep out if you're not supposed to be in the freaking country. That's what I'm saying. So here she is back in the day, lighting into that wall. And then she put it in her advertisement.
Well, K-Files, Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. So, Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material.
What
Tell me
y'all
more
find?
about what you
What y'all
found.
find?
Yeah, that's right. We found more than 50 of those tweets criticizing the border wall before she used that in her ad.
Wow. Now, guys, what I don't understand is how can you justify 50 of those criticisms? That's only the ones he found, you know what I'm saying? More than 50. You use 50 of those. That means it's in the bone. You've been saying this so long that it's in the bone. This ain't one of those things I might have, mentioned it one time and this and this and that. But when you repeat something like that many times, that means it's a core part of your values. Something you could never, just flip-flop on or, adopt the values of the white nationalist xenophobe who was doing something stupid just for a vanity project. Why would you adopt that? What kind of person is Kamala? A flip-flopper? A woman who don't have real values? That's what she is. So let's just see what she was saying back then. It might have hurt Donald Trump's feelings.
I want people to take a look at just a few of what she said here. She called it wasteful, useless, a waste of taxpayer money, a vanity wall project, a wasteful border wall, a stupid wall, a medieval vanity project.
Look at all those hurtful words. All those hurtful words she said back then about Donald Trump and his very dumb, stupid decision to build that wall. And it's vain, it's vanity and stuff like that. But now it seems like Chameleon Kamala Harris is copycatting Donald Trump. It seems like what she's doing is validating how brilliant of an idea it was to build that wall. Considering, number one, she put the wall in her advertisement to make it seem like she was responsible for it. See, but number two, she's also talking about she's going to go ahead. I'm still fighting these gnats. She's also talking about she's going to go ahead and fund the wall. What happened? What happened? Wait a minute. So are you saying one of two things? Either you went against your values, and if you did, why? Or what you're saying is what Donald Trump was doing made sense and works. One of the two, but nobody's around to ask her that. Nobody's around to stick that microphone right on her big fat nose and ask her, why did you do this? What happened to all your values and all of this stuff and saying that I would never, ever support that wall? Why you support? Oh, you need to get elected. Oh, because the rumor has it you're the border czar and did nothing. That's why. And you need to change that perception. Oh, because now what you basically done is said, all of our policies suck as Democrats. And if I want to get elected, all I got to do is paste and copy Donald Trump's policies over to mine. But I won't implement them. See, that's the key. We all know conservative policies make more sense. They're more productive. All of those things. Democrats know their policies suck. And if they want to win elections with common sense, working class citizens, they can't be out there pushing stupidity like they normally do when they're in office. Soon as election time comes around, okay, let's go ahead and pretend that we're Republicans. Because, see, people with common sense say, well, yeah, a wall would make sense. It'll help somehow, wouldn't it? Can't hurt. Yeah, keeping an open border is stupid. Yeah, all of these things. So basically, what she did is paste and copied. And now she's getting exposed at all places on CNN. Ugh.
And an unnecessary wall. And those are really just, there were more, this was like 10 or like 50, but there was really a lot of this was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood for, but
see, what he's really saying, just in case their dumb viewers don't get it, is she don't stand for nothing. And what she's saying by highlighting that wall and talking about I'll build a wall because she knows this is a campaign issue, what she's really saying is I don't stand for nothing. All of that trash talking that I was dropping a couple years back, I didn't mean it. I was just using that as politics because that was Trump's baby. See, that was Trump out there saying, look, man, we got to build a big, beautiful wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. That was Trump saying that. So whatever Trump said was a smart thing to do or something he said he would do. I can't agree with that. Yeah, I don't care if he says I have figured out a way to provide unlimited energy, food, water and shelter for every man and woman on the globe, they would say it's stupid. It's motivated by racism. Who does he think he is? God? They would find a way to make it seem horrible because it's all about politics for them. So this guy right here is pretty much saying she has no values and she's a copycatter.
Brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
Oh.
It's the president's vanity project.
Oh.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction.
You're called a wall. It's nothing more than a distraction. What else?
From the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America.
Oh, he hasn't? Hilarious. Just ripping out stuff. I mean, this type of rhetoric back then only worked amongst dummies. Haven't focused on actual hardworking Americans, yet all hardworking Americans was in love with their paychecks, their jobs, the economy, their 401ks, the low gas prices, the low food prices. They were in love with that, the low inflation. But yet he wasn't working or focused on the hardworking Americans. He was just focused on that wall. Trump is a multitasker. He's able to do way more than these folks do in way less time, and it actually benefits all Americans. But here she is attacking that wall. What else?
He contrived a national crisis
Contrived
around
it?
his big distraction.
All right, so
Wait a minute. He contrived it? You mean to tell me it was all in Trump's imagination? You mean to tell me Trump made that up like the Democrats be making up that racism is the greatest threat to America and white supremacy and all of this? You mean stuff like that? Where they make all of this stuff up, black folks can't get IDs and just voter suppression and we can't find it. All of these things that they make up to create outrage, and we go, well, at least show us. We can't find it. We can't know. Or how about this? Companies are gouging. Companies are gouging. Show me one. Oh, well. So you're manufacturing it? Are you saying y'all are making stuff up? But the difference is this. She said that about Trump, and all we had to do is look at the border as we watch hundreds of folks coming every single day. Every single day. A caravan at one point was coming and was talking about we coming. They was talking trash, y'all. Remember that? Because that's what inspired Jim Acosta to attack Trump, talking about Mr. President. Why you keep saying it's the invasion? It ain't no invasion. And he said, Jim, what do you look? You saw the video. You think they were all actors? You didn't see those folks? And yet these people were out there saying Trump's manufacturing it. That's how belittling the Democrat politicians and the fake news think of people's intelligence. We will have video footage out there and we will say Trump's making it up. All of the violence that took place during the summer of love, all of that. And they got on TV and said, you guys are overinflating this, you're exaggerating, there's no violence. These are mostly peaceful protests. And had the nerve to be standing in front of fire and rioters. That's how they feel about their viewers, but let's continue exposing her being a copycatter.
you go through all of that, you've got all the tweets, and yet all of a sudden in the ads, there's pictures of the wall, and then you went through to look at that wall. Like, what is that specific wall that's in her campaign ads now? I found something very interesting about this specific portion of the wall.
And I think what's also really remarkable about this is, like, I mean, you heard her talking about it there, Trump's wall in his campaign during his presidency. There was really no greater symbol of Trump's presidency than the wall and the way that Democrats were attacking him.
Yeah. I mean, because they went in on that wall issue. Yeah, he came in with the wall when he announced coming down the escalator. And from that point on, what is he talking about? A wall. And they made it their mission to degrade, to belittle, to mock the whole wall topic, to do anything they can to shut that wall down. In fact, it was Kamala Harris administration that came in and just stopped the project. I mean, heck, she could have they could have been done. They could have been done with the wall. She could have had this, all wrapped up and came out and said, look what I did. We stopped this mess. We finished the wall. But no, they couldn't do that because Trump started it. So they came in, shut it down, start selling parts to the wall. left it wide open. I mean, folks were still like, well, we was working on it. I thought we'll pay you that you keep the money. We just don't want the wall. We just don't want the wall. But now she's talking about building it. Now that's a waste of tax dollars. We already had the money. It could have been built. But nah. We ain't gonna build nothing that Trump was a part of.
Over the wall and his restrictive immigration policies. So we looked in that ad, and if you look at it, that exact area of wall is in Sasabe, Arizona, and that is a portion of wall that was actually built by Donald Trump. It was built.
Wow, what a fraud with a copycatter. Did he patent the wall? Did he trademark it? Maybe. Right about now, somebody might need to pull some charges up on her out there. You know what? How did you put my wall in your ad? How did it get in there? Huh? What are you trying to convey? You're trying to convince your low information voters that you're responsible for the wall and you're tough on the wall?
In an area where there was not previous wall. It was actually pretty controversial when they were building it at the time. So just to see that, and then there are other.
She's using his wall that he built to say, look at what I did.
Look, that's exactly what she's doing. You know what she's not using though? She's not using the clips of her saying the border is secure. She's not using that. She's not using the clips when all of those illegal immigrants bum rushed our border patrol agents and ran right past them. Not using those clips. Not using all those clips where they were walking towards America with "we're coming" buying shirts on. Why not that? Why aren't you using the clips of them coming across rivers? Why aren't you using the clips of all of them sitting under the bridge waiting to be processed? And Border Patrol sitting there sweating, trying to figure this out, while all the coyotes and drug dealers are just running, drugs. Why aren't you using those clips? You didn't want to use those? You wanted to use the clips where I don't see nobody coming over that wall. Yeah, because remember, her running mate, weirdo Tim, that guy, you know what? We could just build a ladder. I'll invest in some ladders to go over. You don't see that, though. Where are all the ladders? Where are all the people coming over that wall? They're not. Get out of here. No wonder you picked a secure place to show everybody, yeah, I'm tough on the border. But unfortunately, you weren't responsible for that big, beautiful wall.
And the other images of the wall, we weren't able to pinpoint, but there's telltale signs that was a Trump wall because there's an anti-climbing plate on top that became popular.
Anti-climbing plate on top that became popular?
That is during the Trump years.
During the Trump years, anti-climbing plate. What that means for, woke weirdo Tim is that, yeah, you might get a ladder, but it's an anti-climbing plate. There's something that's going to make it tough for you. Yeah. At some point, somebody's going to say, you know what? Is it really worth it? Is it worth it? Let me work it. Yeah. Nobody wants to have to climb over a wall like that. These people want things like what the Democrats do. You put a little barbed wire up, they go down and cut it. And there you go. They got a little fence with a big fat hole in it, and the people are holding it open while all the rest of them are just coming through. Things like that. They want those type of obstacles. Yeah. So looks like, once again, she doesn't have her own agenda, her own policies. She's pasting, copying Donald Trump's.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
That's a brilliant idea, Trump.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
What? What the crap? Anything Trump can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than Trump by copycatting. So this woman didn't even worry. She didn't even stop to think, hey, this is going to be obvious that I just took this policy from Trump. Didn't even care about that. No integrity whatsoever. It's like no embarrassment, no shame. Said it with confidence like it came straight out of her dome. I told you. She has no real policies to run on. And the ones that she's whispered or hinted to are horrific. They're getting destroyed even by the liberal media. They're going, what is she talking about? Tax on this and that, gains and hold on, price gouging. Where's that going? They've been letting her have it in regards to that, and it's showing in the polls, y'all. Hey, I was riding around today at work on the man truck, seeing Trump, and all of these yards, and miraculously, I saw in the midst of like 50 Trump signs, somebody had the nerve to have a Harris Wall sign. It was hilarious. Hilarious, man. I want to stop and just laugh out loud for about 8 hours in front of their house and pointing. Just laugh. Laugh at them out of embarrassment. Heck, it's better than what they would do. Yeah, they'd run up in our people's yard and snatch a Trump sign out and stuff like that. So now, let's get into it, because we done found some more Russia collusion, y'all. Yeah, man. But it ain't in the places that you think it might be coming from. It's not coming from the Russians. Not coming from the Russians. It's coming from us. And that's what it's coming from. Our own government, y'all. Our own politicians, y'all. Now, y'all saw last night during my live stream, if you're watching, if you didn't, go back and watch it. But you saw, I was talking about them going after big tech and going after Elon and all of that. And you saw the clip where Kamala was talking about we're going to bring back the justice system for us. And I'm going, no, yeah, you're going to bring back the just us system. There it is. That's what you're really going to bring back. And then she talked about how they're going to punish big tech platforms that allow, dis and misinformation. Yeah, they're reckless. They need to police their platforms, or else they're going to punish them. Punish them. Because, you don't want foreign entities and stuff like that to compromise our democracy by using big tech now, would you? So, guys, they're bringing back Russia collusion. They're probably warming it up just in case she gets her butt beat, which I think she will. And they just might be able to have an excuse that, look, once again, it was the Russians that stole the election right out from under our nose. But the problem is the main Russian himself is supporting Kamala Harris, just like he did Joe. So let's hear from Putin himself, y'all.
If we can name a favorite candidate, it used to be Joe Biden, but now he is not participating in the election campaign, and he recommended all his allies to support Ms. Harris.
You hear this? It used to be Joe Biden. But since he's not running, he recommend that we support Kamala Harris. So Mother Russia shall support the chameleon. Now, that's amazing. The translator's breaking it down. Now, look, Putin sitting back, the eyebrow up, relaxed. Oh, yeah, you best believe he's hoping and praying the chameleon getting there. So let's hear him insult her. And I wonder if she catches the point where he insults her. Let's see.
So that is what we are going to do.
Oh, you hear that? That's what we are going to do. It's his translator. So some lady is translating what he's saying. So basically what that man just said is that since Joe Biden suggested that all of his allies should support his running mate, Kamala Harris, which that's one funny thing because Russia's not an ally of ours. But he's like, yo, I'm going to go ahead and look, we'll just go ahead and say, since Joe told us to support Kamala, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to support Kamala. Now, can you imagine if he said we're going to support Trump? They would be like, we knew it. We knew he was a Putin puppet. Putin prefers him because he's a pushover. And that's exactly why Putin preferred Joe Biden. That's exactly why he's like, yeah, give me Kamala Harris. But yet, nobody is making any fuss about this confession right here. So how are they going to talk about Russia collusion this time if the narrative is all messed up? Well, we're about to find out.
So he said that we should, that is why we should also do that. Well, her laugh, she's laughing, her laugh is so fascinating. It means that everything is good, and if everything is good, it means that...
Y'all hear the insult? Her laugh is so fascinating. Now, he knows he's being sarcastic. That means that everything is good. You're right. For you guys and all of our other enemies, that stupid giggle, that nervous laugh is letting y'all know everything is good for us because we got us another live one. We got us another weak, sorry puppet candidate. This woman will crumble having a conversation with this man or a negotiation with him. I mean, say what you will about Putin, but that dude's intelligent. He's extremely smart. I mean, so for them to look at Kamala versus Trump, and he say, well, you know what? I think we'll take Trump. After Trump dug into them when he was president, kept them in check. I think the only thing that made Putin say, you know what, no need to sweat it, is because he knew Trump was stern but fair. Trump was like, look, Don't disrespect us. We can build a relationship, but there's some guidelines. Now, I'm not going to be talking about war with you guys. I don't want that unless you make me. Yeah, I'm not going to be trying to replace you unless, it goes straight to war. I mean, you act a fool, we'll act a fool. All right. However, Putin respected Trump. Just the fact that he brought up her laugh and talked about it means everything's good. Lets me know he don't respect her. That means he recognizes that stupid giggle. Stupid giggle. And he sarcastically talk about that. I mean, that must mean everything good if she always laughing.
For instance, if we're speaking about Joe Biden, there are so many sanctions against Russia introduced, and if everything is good with Ms. Harris, maybe she will refrain herself.
Yeah, so if she get in there giggling and chuckling and showing that she's nervous and weak, yeah, everything will be good, man. Give me the laughing stock of America. That's who he wants. So maybe she'll laugh her way into getting rid of some of these sanctions. Because surely she's not going to stand up to this, man. Surely she's not going to get in there and try to, really come to some type of compromise. She ain't going to do nothing. She's going to get in there and let other aides and other people in her cabinet deal with the mess. But let's continue.
From such measures, or maybe she'll change them. So in the end, it will be the choice of the U.S. people, and we will respect this choice. So
darn right, it's going to be the choice of the U.S. people, unless our deep state have something to say about it. Unless the Democrats come up with some shenanigans. So I'm starting to wonder, where is the Russia collusion really coming from? Is it coming from Putin? Is it coming from Mother Russia? Or is it coming from within our own country and they're just using Russia as an excuse to subvert our democracy, as they always say, our republic? So let's see, because now here's some more Russia collusion.
Holly, I mean, he was talking, I guess, was it on Russian TV? I mean, is this real?
I don't know if he's for real, Anne-Marie, because I don't know what's going on inside Vladimir Putin's head. But look, viewed from one perspective, maybe it's not that surprising. Back in February, Putin said that in terms of Russia's interests, President Biden was actually preferable to former President Trump because he was more predictable.
Absolutely. More dumb, more old school. He knew exactly how to push it, how far to push it, what we would do as a response. Putin, he had his way with Joe Biden. That whole administration had his way with them. Still having his way with them. And so he was like, yeah. I mean, why would we want to bring in a smart president? Why would we want to support y'all bringing in a stern president? And why would we want that? Keep Joe in. But wait, when he said that, why did they all cry out, look at this? Joe must be a Russian puppet. He must be a Putin puppet, which he probably is because, him and his son did get some money from some Russian oligarchs and all that stuff. Who knows? Who knows who got they claws into Joe Biden? But nonetheless, he talked a good game, and did nothing except allow Putin to have his way with him. So he preferred Joe Biden. And I think this was even after the Ukraine war started. And he was still like, I don't care. Keep him in there. We will drag this war out forever. Okay? Because at the end of the day, y'all either got to put up or shut up. Meaning y'all either got to put boots on the ground or watch us annihilate Ukraine very slowly. Very slowly. Until they tap out.
And old school. Then in his comments today, Putin said, quote, Trump has imposed as many sanctions on Russia as any president has ever imposed before.
Wait, I thought Trump was a Putin puppet. Why would he put all those sanctions on Vladimir Putin when he was his Manchurian candidate? When he was activated, waited 70-something years, and then they flipped this switch. He's like, I will comply to Mother Russia. Putin, what do you want me to do? Yeah, just like that. All of the accusations about Russia, remember Nasty Pelosi went on CNN talking about Putin must have something on Trump. Who knows, it might be financial. All of that. And I'm thinking, wow, that don't seem like a friend when he's dropping all those sanctions on Russia, but yet y'all push that narrative. They've never come out to apologize. Yeah, no corrections. They've never questioned Hillary on it. Drug us through this crap for 2.5 years. And you know what's sad about this? Is their dumb voters after all of that, still to this day, don't know who was behind it or just don't care. Yeah, they probably still think Russia has something to do with getting Trump in. And if you probably told them, hey, Hillary Clinton staged all that, she the one that came up with all of that, and the whole thing was a hoax, they would just move on to the next accusation of Trump's evilness and believe that, wow, even though they went through all of that for 2.5 years on TV, having their pundits come on, through trials and stuff, all of that investment, all of that wasted time, just to try to lie on Trump and stifle his presidency, surely all of these other things that they've done to Trump are legit. Surely all of these impeachments, these indictments, it's not all of these evil folks who deceived us the first time for 2.5 years straight, telling us that Trump was a Russian agent. Every one of the folks that believe that should be furious, because that is one of the dumbest hoaxes that you could ever come up with. They should be mad, first of all, at themselves for believing it. For believing it. I cannot believe my Trump derangement syndrome allowed me to fall for the belief that Trump was a Russian agent. But yet somehow they allowed this man to stay in office while they went through an investigation. Who knows what type of damage, as they took 2.5 years to try to gather some evidence. Who knows what type of damage Trump could have been doing to our country if he was a Putin puppet. If they had the goods on Trump and they knew that Trump was involved with the Russians, they would have let him have it day one. Day one. But yet they took their sweet old time, drug that investigation out while people sat back thinking it was real the whole time. Yeah, that's right. And then when it come out that, oh, nothing's there, just moved right on. Now all of a sudden he tried to get in touch with the Ukrainians to go after not Joe Biden and his corrupt son. No, he's trying to stop his political opponent. We got to impeach him. We got to impeach him. Hoax after hoax, lie after lie. And yet the people that vote for these people fall for it every time. And that's why I say they're low IQ, man. Low IQ when it comes down to politics and just social awareness. Because now you know what they're doing? Trying to recycle this mess. All of this crap, they just keep recycling it. Every couple of weeks, Trump's a threat to democracy. Every couple of weeks, Trump now is again a Russian agent. Every couple of weeks, Trump right now is. So let's see what the latest, because how are they going to get over that statement that Putin just said, that he would prefer Kamala Harris, which should blow up any Russia collusion thoughts or ideas or hoaxes.
And if Harris is doing well, perhaps she'll refrain from such actions. Oh. So, maybe President Putin is for real. And then yesterday, the Justice Department filed charges against 2 employees of a Russian state-controlled broadcaster over an alleged $10 million scheme to produce content for US audiences with hidden Russian government messaging.
Oh, shoot. So now we got the Russians involved again. I wonder why they don't do this for China. I wonder why they don't file charges against China. And I heard on TikTok they're promoting pro-Kamala stuff. All of that. Yeah, I wonder why they don't ever mess with China. Good grief. But always looking around for some Russia collusion and interference when it comes down to the elections. They leave China alone when it comes down to the elections. They just get them for espionage every once in a while. But they never attack them for actual, election interference. Because they don't want no parts of Trump. Xi don't want no parts of Trump. Oh, yeah. So now all of a sudden, it looks like the Russians are paying money again for some ads or something. Now, did any of y'all ever get a chance to look at the ads that they took out last time when he beat Hillary? I think it was like $250,000 an ad. That was enough for them to say, look at that the Russians interfere. Did anybody show us which ads they were? And if these ads were actually effective in changing anybody's vote? I mean, I didn't see no ads where I'm like, wow, I was voting for Hillary until I saw that ad right there. For some reason, that one ad just changed my mind. I would love to see the evidence of all of this, and they're supporting, they're buying stuff like Americans are stupid. So they got to protect us from dis and misinformation that they themselves are responsible for. So I'm not worried about the Russians, y'all. Yeah, the Russians ain't got nothing on these folks, you see that guy with the rat nose right there? You see Ratatouille? You see this guy? You see Nicodemus sitting there? Yeah, you see Mayor Garlic right there? That guy is a bigger Russian threat than anybody. His whole administration, all the deep state actors, the folks who pushed the whole Russia collusion hoax, Hillary Clinton, they're worse than Russia. And now here he is, because he got to explain that, well, okay, now we're trying to bring back the Russia collusion narrative, but Putin just came out and said he supports Kamala. So now I'm just going to say this.
The Attorney General said yesterday that Russia's preferences in this election have not changed from the preceding election.
Oh, so what I'm just going to say is, regardless of what Putin just said, is nah, man, their intentions is no different than the preceding election, which he's inferring that in the past they supported Trump and they still are. Even though he said he would prefer Joe Biden, even though he said he would prefer Kamala, forget what Putin just said. Yeah, their motives are still really to interfere with our election and hopefully get Trump elected. He's using reverse, mind tricks on the people by saying, I want Kamala. Yeah, I want Kamala. He's using reverse mind tricks on them. So he's hoping that everybody will rush out and vote for Trump. But that's this guy's excuse. And then, of course, when that fails, they just say things like this.
Disinformation and propaganda experts who I've spoken to have said that the overarching goal of Russian disinformation...
Now, here's my question. How do you become a dis and misinformation expert? Where's that? Here at CUNY College, Joe Biden said we can have free CUNY College. Here at CUNY College, I like to become a professional dis and misinformation analyst. So basically, just make up stuff. Just tell people that, hey, look, like from the dawn of time, people have fabricated stuff, exaggerated stuff, or just flat out lied about stuff. And we were allowed to use our own common sense, our own investigation, our own reasoning, our own combative arguments or information. We were able to use that to sift through it. But now, all of a sudden, after Hillary Clinton got blown up in 2016, we got a new, profession, dis and misinformation experts. And it just seemed like it all started to pop up when people on the internet started opposing the fake news and the Democrat narratives. Isn't that odd? So now I want to become a dis and misinformation expert because I think I'm batting 1,000. Yeah, just like I knew the whole Russia collusion delusion was all dis and misinformation, but it wasn't coming from Putin. It wasn't coming from Putin. It was coming from our own traitors, our own folks in our government. We found it, y'all, finally. All of this Russian dis and misinformation. So I want that degree. What makes you more qualified to identify dis and misinformation than me? What kind of courses can you take to become a dis and misinformation analyst, expert? You take a course in Marxism. That's how you are. We're going to use this a Marxist tactic right here to control people. So let's finish here.
It's not really about one candidate in one election. Oh. Instead, it's about undermining the trust of...
Oh, okay. See, now that he said that he would support Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, no longer is it about Trump. No longer is it about that. See, it's just not about one or... Why did they say that when they were accusing Trump of being a Russian agent? Why did they say, oh, well, no, this ain't about Trump or Hillary. It's just about them sowing chaos and, doubt and mistrust in our elections. That's all it's about. So we don't want to focus on Trump. We don't want to imply that Trump is actually colluding with the Russians with no evidence whatsoever, no phone calls, no secret notes. No, microdesha, no little camera clips where we caught them in dark alleys with hoods and hats and stuff like that, talking. None of that. We didn't have none of that, y'all. Yeah. However, we went ahead and said that man is colluding with Vladimir Putin. But now that Vladimir has come out and said, well, look, you know what, I support them. Oh, it's not about one or the other. I mean, it's just about them sowing chaos and mistrust. You know who sowed chaos and mistrust in our elections? The Democrat Party and the deep state. That's who did that. It wasn't the Russians. Yeah, it ain't China. It ain't none. All they're doing is facilitating this. All they're doing is encouraging it. They're sitting back watching it and saying, no, man, we ain't got to do none of this crap. These stinking, dirty Democrats and the fake news are doing all of that for us. All in efforts to divide their own people so that they can win. Russia ain't got to divide us and sow distrust in our elections. You know what sowed distrust in our elections? We went to sleep and Trump was winning. And I woke up and I'm like, how did he lose? Oh, they were supposed to shut down a polling station, an actual voting station, but yet they stayed. They remained overnight. They remained overnight somehow and got caught on camera and nobody said anything. You know what's so doubt in that election and in our process is the Democrats boarding up windows and stuff so people can watch. Those are the things that sow doubt in our elections. All of these stupid lawfare, impeaching Trump, trying to take him to court, all of that stuff is what sowed doubt and suspicion and division in our elections. Putin didn't have nothing to do with that. The Russians didn't have nothing to do with that. China didn't have nothing to do with that. It was the Democrats and the fake news and the deep state. And probably some globalists overseas that finance a lot of that too.
Of American people in democracy, in their countries, institutions, and in each other. In other words, it's about making America a more divided and polarized country.
And what she just described is the Democrat Party and the fake news. Don't be blaming Putin. With all of his faults, that man ain't got nothing to do with what we witnessed in our country the last 8 to 10 years. Nothing to do with it. That's why I say Russia ain't got nothing on the Democrat Party and the fake news. Nothing. So yet she described the whole playbook of the Democrats and the fake news. And they're doing exactly what she described, but yet they're blaming it somehow on Russia.
Tesla is hugely important to have a U.S. national champion in the green energy revolution. The renewable battery technology is, a huge part of the U.S. leadership.
Tesla. So wait, you talking about Elon and Musk? You talking about him? Because just like Trump, they used to love Elon. Remember that? Yeah, when he was just staying out of politics and building cars and stuff. And look at him, he's eco-friendly. That guy's a genius. We love him. Just like they love Trump, Oprah, bringing him on her show, The View, all hugging him, all of that. Hillary and Wild Bill taking pictures with him. But then all of a sudden,
in the climate change transition, one of the reasons that they viewed him as a huge hero up until, he became a free speech advocate.
Oh, there it is. There it is. When he decided to defend one of our fundamental American principles and constitutional rights, then all of a sudden, they start hating on this dude. Why is that? Why is it now that all of a sudden he's a big source of mis and disinformation all of a sudden? All determined by the left, all determined by the Democrats, all determined by the fake news. Elon Musk is pushing dis and misinformation. He's, he's posting all kind of racist clip. All of a sudden now, the arbiters of truth are now determining that this once loved man is a agent of chaos, sowing all kind of division and lies and stuff.
So, I don't think I can say it any better than one of the writers from the National Endowment for Democracy,
what?
the very CIA cutout that we've talked about dozens of times now in this.
Whoa, the CIA cutout? You mean to tell me our own government has been figuring out ways to control the population and subvert our republic? You mean to tell me they got certain special tactics and stuff like that to create different perceptions and all of that? You mean to tell me they specialize in overthrowing and stopping movements that might grow that they don't like? Oh, we can't have that. We can't have a populist movement. We can't have that. So now we got to do little things to go ahead and destroy that. But yet at the end of the day, nobody will know it was us. Nobody will know it was us. And this guy's about to expose it.
And this dialogue, which is that one of the writers from the National Endowment for Democracy wrote just a few months ago that Elon Musk is a greater national security threat to the United States than Russia.
Now, wait, did Putin say that? Or was it an American that wrote that? American is connected to the deep state that want to see Elon Musk go down because Elon Musk is supporting freedom of speech, and it's allowing folks that disagrees with the establishment to communicate. Now, that don't sound like Russia, y'all. It sounds like American elitist intervention. That's what it is, collusion.
A few months ago, not this is post outbreak of the war. This is in 2024, and that Elon is a greater threat to the United States and U.S. national security than
why? Because he's a greater threat to the Democrat or the establishment or the uniparty or the globalist agenda. That's why. Yeah, he's not a threat based on what they're about to say he is.
Russia, because his proximal impact on U.S. politics and in allowing opposition political movements to rise is
See, allowing oppositional political movements to arise. So basically, we don't want no MAGA-ism. Yeah, we want establishism. We want the same old Republican Party that's controlled, that we all know they're dirt and we know how far they can go and all that stuff. And we want the same old corrupt Marxist communist Democrat Party that we also can control and all of that stuff. And we don't want a populist party rising up. We don't want a threat to what we have in our control and what we built and how we've nestled ourselves into our government and all of this. We don't want that. And Elon Musk is a threat to our comfy nest that we done built. Not a threat to, us looking at Russia a certain way and starting these folks don't want competition. That's what they don't want.
Will cause changes in U.S. government that are more likely to make us lose the war on Russia than Russia itself. It's the same.
Nothing to do with losing the war on Russia. There is no war on Russia. What are you talking about? This is fascinating to me that they act like Putin is this global threat. Far as I can see, he's kind of been, tamed, minding his own business until they tried to park missiles on his border by trying to bring Ukraine into NATO. Of course, he's not going to allow that. But yet they'll come out and tell us we got to send money over there and defend their borders, because if he takes Ukraine, he's then going to keep going. He's going to take over Poland. He's going to take over the whole European country. All of that. And who knows, he might even show up at our borders. What motivation does he have to do that? I'm just wondering. Does he have enough Russian citizens to occupy all of these countries that he's going to take over? Is he going to establish, Russian, outposts here in the U.S. and force us all to learn Russian, and we're not going to overthrow that? And we're not going to overthrow that? Or is his goal just to blow everybody off the map because he's just evil for nothing? He's just evil for nothing? Well, I don't really want to occupy Europe. I don't want to occupy America. I just want to blow them all off the map. So it's just Russians left. It's just Russians left. See, they don't think like that. They think they can get away with throwing stupid stuff out there and taking advantage of our patriotism and our love for our country. But see, that's the problem with the MAGA movement. We're smarter than that now. We're not going to just jump on board with war. We're not going to just jump on board just because they say this right here is a fundamental principle of America and we're defending freedom. We're starting to go, maybe y'all are manipulating us so that we will support all of y'all stupidity. Maybe that's what it is. And that's what they're really worried about. They ain't worried about the Russians.
Same thing NATO said in 2017. He said, though, we're in a pickle because the U.S. government is so dependent on Elon's properties. And so, basically called for a kind of death by 1,000 paper cuts type strategy. And this is what we're...
Death by 1,000 cuts. How can we undermine him? Not the Russians. Yeah, how can we make sure businesses don't advertise with him? How can we go ahead and try to pull up some type of investigation on him? How can we do that? How can we use the Mockingbird media to assassinate his character, call him a racist all of a sudden and a Nazi? That's what I'm wondering. How can we do that? Death by 1,000 cuts.
We're seeing.
They wrote this in public?
Of course they did.
You can look it up. This is this is national. You can, I believe the author of it was a man named Dean Jackson, current or former National Endowment for Democracy fellow. He's a part of this whole censorship industry apparatus that I've talked about that that is done through the whole society network. And I can actually post the article.
See that censorship industry? So wait a minute. You mean they're really the ones that's showing all of the dis and misinformation? That's what you're telling me? What he's not describing right here is the Russians. You would think Putin has all power. You would think he's able to do everything because everything revolves around the Russians. We want to go to war? That's the Russians. We want to censor people? It's the Russians. We want to overthrow an election and get a president out? It's the Russians. Always the Russians. But we're not stupid.
On my X account if folks are interested right after this. But yes, arguing that, again, but the National Endowment for Democracy gets its funding by the U.S. government. It is not only...
funded by who? Who, y'all? Putin? Is it funded by Putin? Is it funded by Chief? It's funded by the U.S. government. It's their own built-in mechanism to stop folks from really returning the power to the people. Keeping us all numbed up, drugged up, fighting amongst each other, confused, don't know what's going on, medicated, distracted, run a couple false flags here or there. That's who's supplying this. We found the real collusion, y'all. The real Russia collusion.
It is accountable to Congress.
But imagine a more anti-American belief than American citizens shouldn't be allowed to talk.
Yep. That is anti-American. Yeah, and that's exactly what allows them to control us. It used to be just deceiving us and all of that stuff. But when folks start coming out exposing them, now it's more than just deceiving us, because we went from just being passive and victims to a lot of Americans have become aware of what they're doing and become aggressive when it comes down to attacking the lies, the narratives, and stuff like that. So to destroy that and stop that narrative, what they got to do is go on the offense. They can no longer just sit back and monitor it and say, all right, the people are numbed up, they're all sleeping. We're good. Just keep it on cruise control. Now all of a sudden they're going, oh, whoa, these folks waking up. They're starting to, oh man, they debunked that. Oh, they exposed Hillary. Oh, they exposed, oh shoot. You know what we got to do? Come up with some new garbage talking about, well, y'all can't be out there speaking because it's a threat to our democracy. You can't be out there exposing, you can't be out there saying things that aren't true according to us, that might be dis and misinformation. So we can continue and go back to controlling y'all and keeping things as they are. And to me, that is a greater threat to America than Russia. Now let's move on. Hated to have to do that to them, but they brought that on themselves. Because now we got to go into this rumor, y'all, that's out there. And the rumor is men that are voting for Kamala are one of two things. Now, I'm not saying it applies to all, because see, I don't want to stereotype. See, I happen to know that there are probably a lot of men out there that are so disinterested in politics, so out of the loop. They might be tough guys, they might be, strong males, but they just, when it's voting time, they just, I'm going out to vote for the Democrats because I'm voting for the Democrats. But any male that actually puts in a little time or observes the Democrat Party and kind of got just a little bit of understanding what they focus on, what's their priorities, who are they elevating, what direction they're going in. What this is saying is that there's a rumor that those men who know that and still willfully support the Democrats are either not alpha males or even maybe on the other side. Okay, LGBT, transgender. Now, I'm not one to just believe a rumor. So we want to get some examples. We want to get some evidence. But let's start off with, some ladies who got something to say about this. Because if it's coming from just the men, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So let's see what the ladies are thinking. Let's see.
Oh, I'll be attacked for saying this,
No,
but it's fine. It's the truth. But the men who follow Roland Martin
that guy?
do not tend to be alpha males.
Uh-oh. Now, y'all know who Roland Martin is, the Democrat guy who kisses their butts and everything is racist. And he was the one that when, I forget who was on CNN and I think accidentally referred to Kamala Harris as, it's Kamala, I call her Kamala, but as, referred to as Kamala, then, they were all mad saying it's racist, it's all wrapped in racism. That guy. The guy who, sits back in his studio and he talks a lot of trash. Apparently, he was doing a live stream and all of a sudden there was a cut and it showed a butt. They cut to a butt, y'all. So, yeah, they were doing a show and there was a cut and all of a sudden there was a butt, a man's butt. I don't think it, from what I understand, because I haven't seen the butt. I haven't went and, did a deep dive to find out what the butt looks like. Where's this coming from? Okay, all I just need to know is the fact that it happened. So apparently it popped up on his computer and everybody got a chance to see the butt because of the cut. They cut to the butt. And he came out and he's trying to defend it. Like, nah, man, it was just because we were, scrolling up a page and next, they just popped the butt up there out of nowhere. You just got blindsided by the butt. Okay. Now, I mean, I don't know about that. And usually when you're searching certain things, then they'll say, that's what you like? That's what you like? Then, okay. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. You know I got it. And threw that butt right up there in his face. That's all I'm saying. But he said, nope, it was a random butt that just came out of nowhere. And this lady is addressing not only the butt gate, but she's also just talking about what kind of men would support and defend Roland Martin. And she got an interesting take on it.
They normally tend to be what is called beta males. And I'm not saying this as an insult, but it is what it is. Back in the day, they called them hen pets. They don't wear pants in their house.
No.
Those types of men or LGBTQ men, those are normally the men that follow Roland Martin. Whenever you see an alpha male, a headstrong male, a male who stands on his shit, on his show, Roland Martin attacks that man.
Of course. Because he senses all of that testosterone in him, senses all of that independent thinking, and he goes to attacking him. Yeah, and he's vicious when he tries to attack him. So that guy right there. Now, there's nothing about Roland Martin that would make me even feel like I could support or follow that guy. I mean, he the way he talks, the way he acts, the things he supports, the stuff he says. And even if he didn't do all of that, he's still not a guy that, I would feel like I need to know or I support or I just got, there's nothing about him. I'm just going, this dude, he's got this grift going and he kisses up to the Democrats so much and defends them regardless of how crazy something is. That makes him look weak. That makes him look like he is paid and bought. That makes this guy look like he got his lips on somebody's butt. That's what it makes him look like. And not a strong, independent man. And even if you got him dead at the rights, this dude will fight and argue and get loud and try to overtalk you. And see, real men won't tolerate that. So he knows, oh man, I got a live one. So now I got to try to go off and interrupt him just because it's my show. Did y'all see the clip where he called somebody stupid and all of that? And that guy confronted him in public. Hey, yo, Roland, I heard what you had said about me. I thought, well, nah, brother, this ain't the place or the time. Nah, it was the place and the time on the internet when you was talking crazy. Say it to my face. Roland didn't want no action. Yeah, he didn't want no action. And this woman is able to sense that.
So this is my observation. Y'all can get mad all y'all want. So when that video was released, it didn't surprise me.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? If it comes out that it's not real, cool. But for now, until I see that it's not, I believe it because...
But doing the butt, yeah. So, I know. I sped it up, y'all, for a time, so her voice is a little annoying. But let's go ahead and continue.
His behavior leads me to believe that's what he likes.
So wait, what kind of behavior are you talking about? Always kissing up to the Democrats, always defending Kamala Harris no matter what she does or says, stuff like that. Out there dancing with Hillary and all of that. You mean stuff like that? Or could it be that butt that showed up after that cut? But let's continue.
And if he likes that, cool. You grown, do what you do. But I'm just saying, Roland Martin is very sassy, and alpha males do not follow Roland Martin.
Wow. Sassiness is not a good look. When a man is sassy like a sassy woman, after a while you're going, what's up with the sassy talk, man? Let's just have a man-to-man conversation. You ain't got to be all sassy, okay? She's using that word for a reason. Usually you don't hear that applying to men. You know what? That person's very sassy. But Roland is sassy. And men, other men, real strong men won't take that. But hey, man, first of all, you might want to check your tone. Okay. You might want to stop with the end. Let's go ahead and have a conversation, but you ain't going to be disrespecting me, sassy man.
when I have men attacking me on behalf of the defense of Roland Martin, I mean, they don't be the most masculine men. That's all I'm saying.
That's all she's saying. Oh, but wait, here's another lady. Here's another beautiful lady who got some questions about men who might just hitch their wagon to Chameleon and the Democrat Party.
Like all the college kids, boys, men, whatever they are trending conservative. And I'm like, yeah, duh. The left is...
Yeah, all the college young men are starting to become more conservative. And she's like, yeah, duh. But why would they do that?
So insane at this point that, like, if you're a dude, especially if you are a straight dude...
There it is. Even this beautiful woman is able to peep that out. She said, man, the left is so insane. And that's the number one issue. I'm thinking, if you are one step above a guy who works all day, never watches the news, and just say, oh, I didn't even know it was voting day. All right, well, who's the Democrat candidates? And just go down there and say, click, 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 click. If you're one step above that guy, then I got to question, what are you doing supporting this party? If you're a man who have ever heard a Democrat politician pretend not to know what a woman is, what are you doing supporting that party? If you're a man who have observed one or two Democrats constantly elevating nothing more than the LGBT and the transgender community and never talk about men, what are you doing supporting that party? If you're a man who, if you ever heard a Democrat mention toxic masculinity is a threat and a danger, and you're still supporting that party, what are you doing supporting that party? These are things that I go, how can you hear these things? If you're a man who you've heard one Democrat say that men should be allowed to go in girls' bathrooms, they should be allowed to jump in women's sports, because there's no difference. What are you doing supporting that party? See, these are things I have to question. If you are knowing all of this, and you claim, oh, I'm a tough guy, I'm a straight male, and I'm a this and that, and I'm going, are you? You're letting all that slide? All of that stuff these folks focus on, all of the priorities they have that don't include you, them attacking testosterone, and you're okay with it? Either you're lacking some of that testosterone, or you're part of one of the groups that they really elevate, which is the LGBT and the transgender community.
And put yourself in that category... Like, you're, like, insane. It's, like, not only is it, like, it's embarrassing. It's, like, imagine being a man and being like, yeah, I'm a Democrat. Like,
yeah, that do sound funny.
Literally the most, like, feminine, embarrassing thing you could do. Man,
now that kind of hurts. Now, if I'm a man who just happened to stumble across that clip of that pretty lady saying that. Oh, boy. And I'm a guy who actually knows a little bit about the current Democrat Party, what they stand for, what they believe, how crazy they've become, how far radical left they become, who they prioritize, what they prioritize. And I hear that woman say that, I'd be like, oh, maybe now it's becoming a little embarrassing to say you're a Democrat. Used to be, man, I ain't gonna say I'm a Republican because, man, here we go. What? You're a Republican? How can you be a Republican? You're a black, you're whatever. Now all of a sudden, you're telling me folks got to be like, I'm a independent. I ain't gonna say I'm a Democrat. Good. I hope you're ashamed. That party sucks. But wait, we don't want to just say that. Let's go ahead and get some examples. See if there's some truth to these. Oh, well, there's one. Look at that guy. Yeah, he's their new example of masculinity. You see that? You see that wave? Wow, that screams out masculinity. Okay, there it is right there. Hi, everybody. That's why I say he's weird. That's why I say I think that man got something going on, and I don't know what it is. I think he got a lot of stuff going on, not just questioning his masculinity. I think he got a lot of stuff going on. I think he's a compulsive liar. But when the Democrats came out and tried to say he's an example of a real man, he's the new definition of masculinity. How dare y'all say that, and you're sticking this guy out there doing this? Men don't wave like that. You know the rules. Men don't wave like this. They don't do this. They don't do this. It's, hey, there you go. You might get one of these. We don't say bye-bye, stuff like that. We don't clap with the tight elbows. Elbows out. Okay? There's some rules. Some rules to being a man. Okay? We don't look at our fingernails like this. There it is. It's always like this. Yeah, you gotta look at them like this. But yet this guy. Hi, everybody. Let's see some more. Hi, everybody. Look at that. Hi. Yeah, he's our new example, guys. Yeah, these are the Democrats. Give us one more. Give us one more, Tim. Tampon. There you go. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, remember this guy from last night? He's a Kamala man.
Look at this weird guy. He's never left the weight in his
The guy with the pink shorts and the flip-flops.
Are you really gonna hit me?
Uh-oh.
Are you really gonna hit me? You wanna go to jail for assault?
Yeah. That was a run. That was a charge for nothing. That man hit him with a charge for nothing. That's a Kamala man, y'all. He's a Kamala man. Now, I'm not going to judge this guy. I don't know if he's on the other side, but whatever it is, he's lacking testosterone. And I'm going to show you why.
Wrong with the Democrats? You look like Thomas Crooks.
First of all, most men don't purposely go out and buy pink shorts and go get some flip-flops. And then most men don't do this. Yeah, most men don't do this. You see that run? Most men don't run like this. That all screams no testosterone with the balled up fist coming in for nothing. For nothing. Look at that. And did nothing. I'm surprised that guy didn't shove that staff right down his throat as he was running in, pretending he was going to do something. A false charge. Kamala man, y'all. Okay, but wait a minute. Here's some other guys on TikTok that are supporting Kamala Harris. Let's go ahead and see all of the testosterone that's leaking out of her.
But now she sounds like Fannie Willis.
You know, I was going to come up on here and talk about his all upper palate, no lip.
Okay, well, okay. Now we got a brother out there. Look, he got a man beard. Maybe he's an exception to the rule.
Lip having ass. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to do something else.
What?
I'll instead tell you the story when I was in my first gay relationship at the age of 21.
What? Wow, that went through me. He got a man beard for nothing. Now, here's the thing. Okay. Do I think all men who support Democrats are gay? No, we got some gay Republicans too. But they're very outspoken. And it is a lot of gay and transgender men who support the Democrats, but not just gay men. There's men that are soft, men that lack testosterone. That's all I'm saying. It's because it's a woman-oriented party, and you can't be a strong man in that party. You can't be an assertive man in that party. They will shoot you down. They will attack you based on your mansplaining. You're talking over every question you have for females because you're sexist. Who wants to be subjected to all of that criticism and attacks just because you might have an opinion, you might be a strong man, or maybe as a Democrat man, you don't support all of these other agendas, and then they're calling you homophobic, all of that. So now here's a guy who is supporting Kamala.
It wasn't until my boyfriend told me that when I went into barbershops or when I got into my Uber or my Lyft, that my voice went down a couple of octaves and my voice got deeper. See, as a gay man, in the recesses of my mind, my brain was saying, present in a way that is presentable, present in a way that is normal, quote unquote, so that you can be free from violence and harm.
Or maybe natural. Maybe your voice is like that. And for some reason, you've been talking to your nostrils to not sound like you got some bass in your voice. Like many of gay men, whatever you choose to be is on you. But do you have to do that? I mean, it's almost like you're trying to convince yourself. I mean, they talk like that. You see them on MSNBC all the time. You know what? And then, you know what? And they have this little pompous thing going. And I'm saying, just talk regular. Just, Dave Rubin, when he talks, like if he never told anybody he was gay, I would never know. We'll never know. But as soon as you start talking like this, I'm going, you want everybody to know that I'm gay. That's in your mind. That's how gay men are supposed to sound, or women are supposed to sound, or whatever. Here's another one. Kamala man.
Florida Congressman Byron Donalds traveled far and wide to be up under his man to show support for him. Blasting off in his rocket, likely with the rest of his crew, to show fealty to Donald John Trump.
Now you better hold your horses. Hold your horses there, young boy. You talking about Byron Donalds, man. Hey, that dude right there is a national treasure.
Only for that man to get on that stage and say,
Well, look who we have. Byron said that was superstar of the future.
Okay. Now, you see those mannerisms right there, guys? You see that? There you go. Most guys don't do that. Most guys with testosterone don't do that. But now, what is he doing? He wants to attack Byron Donalds because Trump said this, and look what he thinks Trump meant.
Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. He's good. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good. But we have
one of the good ones. One of the good ones. A racially coded dog whistle identifying you as a raisin that belongs in the milk.
That's what he got out of that. One of the good ones. So I'm sure he's thinking in the context of race. Basically what he's saying is Byron Donalds is a black man. Ain't like the rest of the black men. Okay? He's one of the good ones. You're a good old boy. Even though Trump doesn't think in the context of race, he's thinking in the context of your character. You as a good Republican or MAGA Republican. You're smart. You're effective. You mean well. You believe in America first. And many others don't. But this guy is looking at it through the lens of a Democrat. It's all racist. Wonder why he ain't saying nothing about when creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe was looking at Barack Obama. I mean, he's clean cut. He's smart. I wonder why he ain't saying nothing about that. That was way more derogatory than what Trump said. But see, remember, guys, this is how Democrat men think. Immediately, look at that. Now, here's that same guy.
Hey, guys and girls and gays. My he, she, and theys. Honey, we're cooked.
Now, if you are a masculine man, will you take advice from this guy? Like, would he be influencing you to support the Democrats? Would you be sitting back watching and going, that brother keeping it real? You know what, man? He caught my attention. For some reason, these are the guys that keep popping up. So if they're trying to win over masculine men, when you go online and see a lot of them outwardly supporting the Democrats, this is what you're getting.
Single time our nation has had the threat of a budgetary shutdown, Speaker Mike Johnson and congressional Republicans have fought to end the funding that supplements the price of PrEP and medications that both protect Americans from contracting HIV and also treats Americans living and thriving with HIV. We have seen numerous hate attacks on LGBTQI plus Americans all across this country.
There it is. There it is. Now, once again, put it in the context of you are a alpha male and you hear them always talking about stuff like this. Has nothing to do with you, your livelihood, your life. You're not sitting back anti-LGBT. You're not hating on transgender community. You just say, look, man, none of that applies to me. That's not what I'm interested in. And you're not going to bully me into support. Now, how about you focus on things that benefit or, benefits my life, builds my life up. But y'all are always running off trying to be these big time activists. Everything is activism. Everything, you're going, man, look, I want to work on my car. I want to go to work. I want to go on vacation, drink a couple beers. I want to play some football. I want to watch some football. I want to do stuff like that. But I got to be subjected to these messages all the time. Yeah, these agendas all the time. Has nothing to do with me. And if I say I'm disinterested, that's not acceptable. You can't be innocuous to all of these as a Democrat, man. You got to be on board. You got to be supporting women's rights to reproduce. You got to be supporting all of this. Those aren't issues that alpha men are saying these are important. So that means you got to have a lower testosterone level to adopt all of this, or just simply go, sure, dear, that's important. What protest are we going to today? Which will put you in a beta male category.
So by now, if you haven't seen it, that little marketing twink, Be Better, has created this TikTok in which he is criticizing Kamala Harris's campaign. He's saying that the marketing isn't good. He's saying that she doesn't know anything about policy and that her entire push for president is void of any facts. And what he's saying is egregious.
Now, you gotta understand, guys. Alpha men, you're not made into an alpha male. You are an alpha male. And I'm not saying that alpha men are better than beta males. I mean, we got all kind of males that are Republicans as well. But they're focused on alpha males in this video. As an alpha male, you connect with other men that you look at and say, I feel like I got something in common with him. I feel like I can connect. I respect something about this guy enough to where I will take his advice. I'll listen to him, all of these things. But you listen to these guys that's coming out, and they're supposed to be what? Influencing strong alpha males. They're not. They're making people go, like alpha males go, man, I'm not going to follow this guy's lead. I'm not going to do it. And this is all it seems like the Democrats are presenting. They're throwing this out there as the face of the party, and yet talking about we're bleeding men.
And it doesn't make any sense for what his platform is supposed to be, except for the fact that it's clearly clickbait. There's no way that somebody who claims to know a lot about marketing,
he's in the nostrils,
thinks that her campaign is not marketed well.
He's in the nostrils. Uh-oh, and here's the last one. We got us a live one right here. This guy actually goes in and attacks alpha males. Ain't gonna tell us, y'all, where the alpha male is.
Now the new tactic is attacking straight black males, questioning their sexual identity because they support Kamala Harris, saying you're not an alpha male if you support her, you're not an alpha male if you're willing to pay the background for a black woman, you're not an alpha male if you protect black women, you're not an alpha male if you believe a black woman should have a leadership position.
If you don't protect black women, what does that got to? Ain't nobody trying to protect Kamala Harris. What do you do? That is characteristics of an alpha male. All right, you do support women. You do protect women. You don't allow women to get beat up by men in the ring. You don't allow men to go in women's bathrooms. You don't allow men to get in races and sports with women and run all over them. Those are things that an alpha male would have a problem with. But a lot of beta males don't. A lot of Democrat men don't. They support that stuff. So here he is talking about what an alpha man wouldn't do.
You're not an alpha male. They're attacking Roland Martin. They're attacking Plies. They're attacking any straight black male that has some common sense and common decency. Let me just say this to my straight brothers. Look.
Let me say this to my straight brothers. He about to give us a message, y'all, to all the straight brothers. Not the alpha males, though. Because apparently, all right, straight men are all betas. Because he's about to go in on alphas.
You don't want to be no alpha male. They have taken that.
You don't want to be an alpha male. First of all, okay, there probably are a lot of men out there that would like to be an alpha male, but it's just not in their temperament. It's just not in their temperament. And there's nothing wrong with being an alpha male or a beta male, okay? But it's how you express your masculinity, okay? What you invest in. Everybody can't be an alpha male. You got all types that make the world go around. But they got a large portion of beta soft males or gay males or, all of that stuff in the Democrat Party. Yet they're trying to reach out to more masculine men who are disinterested in the party and says the party has nothing to do with them. They don't feel like they have a connection. So this guy's response is, let me tell all of the straight men that they don't want to be an alpha male, and listen to his reasons why.
And redefined it, because alpha doesn't stand for what it used to.
So they then took that definition and redefined it. So what did alpha used to stand for? What did it stand for? Did it stand for guys just laying around with wife beaters and drinking beers and the belly sticking out? Hey, woman, get in here. I want you to go and get me another beer. Don't look that way. I'll slap you across the face. And make sure you take those shoes off while you're in the kitchen, okay? Because I want you barefoot and pregnant. This is my house. I run it. I'm an alpha male. Hey, kids, don't look at me that way. I'll beat you too. Is that what alpha males are? I don't understand. What is he talking about? Are they egotistical? Are they always walking around saying, you shut your mouth, okay? You're not tough as me. You're not as tough as me. I'll beat you up. I'm the only one who can speak. Who else wants some of me? So he's saying, we done changed the definition of what an alpha male is. So then now here's the new definition that he thinks all of us alpha males are.
These toxic motherfuckers come in your comment section talking about you're not an alpha male. Take that as a compliment. Because alpha male stands for always ashy, always having criminal.
Always ashy. This is this guy's argument. Always ashy, always having a what?
Criminal charges.
Criminal charges. Is that what alpha males are? Do you understand how stupid this young man is right here? Okay. Yeah. So always ashy. What if you're white? But nonetheless, always ashy. Always got criminal charges. So all of these alpha males in the whole world are running around committing crimes because that's a part of being a new alpha male. Okay. Yeah, you got to become a criminal.
Always putting their hands on women because they.
Oh, don't forget that too. Yeah, we beat women. All of us alpha males beat women. What else we do?
They always get caught choking you out.
Always get caught choking you out. He knows what an alpha male is, guys. It's obvious. Look at all of that testosterone leaking out of him. He's qualified to tell us.
Always never having a real source of income.
Always never having a real source of income. All of these alpha males out there busting their butt, working hard, coming home with calluses on their hands, chopping down trees. What kind of men you think are climbing those trees and cutting them down? What kind of men do you think are on oil rigs? What kind of men do you think are in coal mines? What kind of men you think are building the stuff that your soft core butt is in right now? Who's getting all the materials for the rubber, for the tires and stuff like that? All beta males. Remember, alpha males don't have a job. Yeah, we don't work. We lay around somehow and just get paid because we're alpha males. Y'all didn't know that? What else?
Always asking to borrow $20 till they get paid next week.
Always asking to borrow $20. I don't see very many alpha men doing that. They usually got too much pride to do that. Usually alpha males are like, man, you know what? I will go and find some change on the ground or something. I'll go give some blood, but I ain't gonna be hey, you got $20. This guy, man, is just throwing out his definition of an alpha male because maybe he's not one. Maybe he's going, you know what? There might be a little validity. And I'm not saying completely across that accusation is all accurate, but I am saying there's a large group of men that are Democrats that are either sounding and acting like this guy or they just don't have a lot of testosterone.
Sweet. Always feeling less than and in competition with women.
Always feeling less than and in competition with women. Now that is a Democrat talking point if I ever heard one. Yeah, you can never just simply be right as a man. If you say, excuse me, I got an opinion, I disagree. You know what? You think you're in competition with her just because she's a woman. Soon as they appointed Kamala Harris to be their candidate, I'm like, here we go. No criticism for her, because if you do it, you're just attacking her because she's a woman. See, that right there is something a woman in the Democrat Party would say.
Always being messy. Always in everybody.
Always being messy.
Everybody else's business.
Always being in everybody else's business. How many alpha men y'all know that are talebearers? Yeah, like to get in the rumor mill. Do you understand? I don't want to know nothing about what. I don't even like talking to people. Y'all get a side of me doing my show that many people don't get. Sometimes I'm out on a job and people start talking too much, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't give a crap. I'm just here to do a job. I don't want to know about what happened. And I blew my hip out now. 6 years ago, and I'll be going, I don't care. I don't care about any of that. People call me up, hey man, did you hear about this and this and that? If you're not a close friend of mine who all know me and know what I would be interested in knowing, and you just want to tell me, I'm just in my head, I'm going, I don't care about this. I'm going to sit back. Oh, yeah, what? That's crazy. And in my head, I'm going, how can I get out of this? Somebody pulled a fire alarm. I don't want to know about this. But here's this guy, always in somebody else's business. That's something that I see come out of guys like him. So what did he say? And I can't believe it. So tell me again, what happened? I see that come out of a lot of guys like this.
Always having homoerotic admiration for other toxic black men. Always questioning somebody's sexuality because you're insecure about yours.
There it is. Can't just disagree with a lifestyle. Can't just say, you know what? I don't like the fact that children are allowed to get this done to them, and that you hate kids, you're transphobic, you're insecure. It's because you're homophobic, because you don't support and show up at the gay pride with a flag and stuff like that. Yeah, so because you don't do that, it's because you're overcompensating, trying to make sure everybody know that, hey, I ain't gay. An alpha male is confident in who he is. He doesn't have to pretend. He doesn't have to try to be something that he's not. Okay, he doesn't have to get involved in stuff like gay pride and all of this stuff to show that he supports stuff like this. Most of the time, they're going, leave me be. I don't dislike or like. I just want to be left alone. All right, don't bring that mess to me. Yeah, I'm good just like I am. I don't have to prove to you I'm an alpha male. It will eventually leak out. And, people will start to go, something about this guy that seems, genuine. He seems stern. He seems like he stands on his positions. Seems like he has integrity. He works hard. He loves his country. He'll defend his family. He's smart. He's all these things. After a while, you go, wow, that's pretty. I like those characteristics.
Always dealing with untreated trauma because they mama refused to allow them to be a child and forced you to be their husband.
Can you believe all of that? This sounds like a woman. This guy's going off like he's a woman who's been jaded. That's what he sounds like.
Always manipulative, always abusive, always suffering emotionally because the only emotion you were allowed to express was anger and aggression. Now that is what we call an alpha male. You know the flaw in being an alpha male is?
What? Tell us.
Raised you. Okay, if you think this way about Kamala, then what the you think about your mama?
Hey.
Kamala may not see or hear your insults, but your daughters will. And watching their daddy disrespect this lady is gonna f with their self-esteem. But
what? So now you gotta vote. You gotta vote for Kamala Harris or you're disrespecting your mama. See, that right there is manipulation. See, he just said alpha males be out there manipulating people. That right there is manipulation. You must not love your mama if you won't vote for Kamala Harris. If you criticize Kamala Harris, you're disrespecting women. You're disrespecting her and your mama. It can't be because she's raggedy. Now, as an alpha male myself, okay, self-declared and also approved by others, okay, as an alpha male myself, I would still vote for a female if she was strong, if I believed in her policies, if she was smart and intelligent, if she had the characteristics that I say, that person would make a strong leader. Carrie Lake, absolutely. Yeah, I would vote for her all day long. Has nothing to do with me disrespecting women. The disrespect comes when I hear you out there going, Russia is the big country and it is a smaller country. When I see you out there saying and doing the stuff that Kamala says and do, yeah, I'm going to let you have it. But it's warranted. It's not because I don't love my mama and I'm disrespecting women, but according to this guy. Now, this right here, this whole rant is nothing more than him justifying why a lot of low-testosterone men support Kamala Harris and why a lot of gay men and transgender men support Kamala Harris. And he hates alpha males because usually alpha males will go, man, watch out, man. Watch out.
if you don't give a fuck about your daughter, I hope you give a fuck about your son because thinking about the generational curses he's about to inherit from you.
Well, first of all, you talk about mamas. Would you kiss your mama with that nasty, filthy mouth?
You tell your son to talk over his mom? Do you tell your son that his mom ain't shit and deserves to be disrespected?
Where's this coming from? But this guy is all over TikTok supporting Kamala Harris. And he's always defending the Democrat policies and party. This guy. And yet, look at how he views alpha males. Now, understand, guys, this man is talking about every alpha male, I guess. Even with this whole segment, I never said all Democrat men are suffering from low testosterone or they're gay. I'm sure, like I said in the beginning, there are some men out there who just simply don't pay attention to what's going on with the Democrat Party. And they just saying, well, I'm just going to go down and vote when it's time to vote. Tough working, hard working guys who just, I'm on autopilot when it comes down to supporting the Democrats. But once you get informed and see what this party have become, now I have a right to go, dude, you okay? You think that party right there represents you as a man?
You tell your son that the biggest threat to the black community isn't white supremacists, it's actually a black woman?
You hear that, guys? That's a requirement. See, as alpha male, you tell your son the biggest threat to the community is not the white supremacy. Yeah, right there, that right there. And I'm going, what does that have to do with anything? It's really you saying take responsibility for yourself, son, and use common sense. And stop using racism as a crutch to be sorry. That's what an alpha male would do. He would say, son, be responsible for your own choices. Don't point the finger, point the thumb first. That's what he would say. An alpha male would say, son, I want you to learn conflict resolution skills. I want you to learn to respect authority so that when you are pulled over, you don't go off thinking that this is an attack upon you because you're black. Yeah, son, don't use racism that you never experienced or the history of black people as an excuse to not perform and be better. That's what an alpha male would do. But this guy, you should tell your kid to be a victim and tell him that he should be looking for that boogeyman and he'll never be done because he's just black.
That reminds one of know what the hell do you talk to your son about? And before y'all come in my comment section, I was never without a father figure. I had 2 straight parents in the household.
Then maybe your dad should have told you what I just said. Son, stop walking around pretending that you're constantly under assault. Man up. Man the heck up.
A black daddy and a black motherfucking mama all the way until I was 18 years old. Y'all got motherfucking issues and y'all don't represent real heterosexual black men.
What?
Because the black man in my life that I looked up to was never this motherfucking toxic.
Wow. Y'all hear that? Now see, there you go. I guess he told us. All of our alpha males, what your daddy should have did is put a big bar of soap in your mouth and washed it out. Dang on it. Up there talking. So now, y'all heard it from he's not even a beta male. He's obviously gay. But he done went ahead and laid it down for us. So let's hear from the horse's mouth as we close. Let's see exactly what the Democrat strategy is and who they're targeting and who their targeted audience is. When it comes down to men, let's go ahead and hear it from them. Because we don't want to just be out there saying, why does all these men support Democrats if they're alpha males? Because the Democrats really don't target alpha males. We're not just making it up, are we? All right, so let's see what CNN got to say.
They are doing so in trying to put forward male figures.
Like Tim Walz?
Tim Walz being one of them.
Yeah, y'all hear that? They're doing this. They're coming after all of us alpha males trying to bring us back by sending Tim Walz out there. There you go. Jazz hands. There you go. That right there appealed to my masculinity. They're sending Tim Walz out there, the guy that had LGBT shirts on kids and put them in parades. They're sending Tim Walz out there, the guy that decided put tampons inside of the bathroom. They're sending that guy for some reason who seems to always want to focus on children and introducing them to the LGBT community. Because when he was a teacher, he tried to start a little after-school club, for the elderly. And I'm going, why are you interested in that? Is that something that, the normal alpha male or just a man would say, you know what, this is my passion, it's my interest. And I think what would be a good idea is not starting a man's club or a young men to boys club or something like that to instill some good attributes into young men. No, let's not start that type of club. Let's start this type of club. Now, that's the guy that they're saying they're sticking out to try to entice alpha males to come in back.
Doug Emhoff last night, who...
Doug Emhoff. There you go. Chameleon Harris's softcore husband. That dude who got the nerve to be out there talking about that toxic masculinity. How dare that come out of your mouth? What kind of man are you to attack masculinity by calling it toxic? Who do you think came up with that idea, that term? Feminists. There it is. And you embraced it. You embraced it. You allowed them to get away with it. You allowed them to support that narrative. Yes, there's a big threat with toxic masculinity going around. Unbelievable. But they want him to be our example, guys.
Can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden,
You mean low testosterone men? Just say it, Dana. Yeah, I know you're trying to figure out how to say it. Might not be the most manly of men. That might not be. Just say it.
Gun-toting kind of guy.
Yeah, because that's what all alpha men do. Just gun-toting. Yeah, ride around on horses, bareback, hairy chest, got taco meat all on their chest and their back, ears filled with with hair, all of that stuff. Nails dirty all the time. All the time. Speaks like a caveman, unga bunga, meat cavey wavy. Yeah, that's how all of us are as alpha males.
Wants to listen to Hulk Hogan and the kind of players that came out at the RNC, or might want to listen to that, but also, in addition, understand that it's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin.
What does that mean? An alpha male is comfortable in his own skin? Yeah. See, once again, an alpha male doesn't have to, if you're a real alpha male versus being a beta male pretending, you don't have to overcompensate to try to prove you're an alpha male. It's like people who say, I'm smart. I'm going, why are you telling everybody that? Let your smartness leak out. I'm tough. I'm going, okay, I hear what you're saying, but how about you just allow who you are to shine? People will get the hint after a while. But here she is trying to say, what do you say to all those guys who want to listen to Hulk Hogan? It's not that listening to Hulk Hogan and all those guys it's the contrast between who the RNC brings out to represent men versus who the DNC brings out to represent men. It ain't about being comfortable in your skin. It's about recognizing the agenda that the RNC has versus the DNC. When all you see is guys coming out to talk that seem like they're a little softer, they're not beta, they jump on board with all these feminist, agendas and all that stuff, and they're always, subsiding to women's, we support women's rights, that always, I don't want to interrupt a woman, it's stuff like that you got to do as a active participant in the Democrat Party as a man that I don't want no parts of. No parts of. And here she is trying to figure out how to juggle this.
Who supports a woman. And that's something that they really are trying to work on with male voters.
And why is she saying who supports a woman? Alpha men don't support women? Do you understand how many wonderful, powerful, strong, intelligent women there are in the Republican Party? Nothing better than a conservative, smart, intelligent, strong, independent thinking woman. They're the best. They are the absolute best. And here she is, who supports a woman, basically, who sits back and go, honey, when you get done getting dressed with you, can you come in and dress me? Can you show me what kind of tie? We going to go head down to the protests for women's reproductive rights today? Or you want me to attack men for the toxic masculinity? I'll go out and say it. I'll say it. No, you know what? Are we pregnant? Are those the kind of guys you're talking about? What do you mean? Who supports a woman? Just because you don't support Kamala Harris, you're not an alpha, you're not a man? What, that makes you what? So alpha because you're like, I'm not supporting her just because she's a woman. No, because she's incompetent.
Beyond the base.
Abby, we were talking about this earlier, the different definitions of masculinity in 2024.
Right. There's no different definition of masculinity in 2024. You're trying to create one. You're trying to invent an alternative to masculinity. We've been able to figure this out from the dawn of time, but now all of a sudden, just like there's new categories of genders, new categories of humans, I guess, and all of that stuff, Democrats, this is why they don't get alpha males over there. They're always doing stuff like this. Now you gotta boggle your mind down trying to figure out what kind of alpha male am I? What's the attributes of this new masculine? What is the definition? How do we redefine it? Nobody wants to deal with all of that crap. Be who you are.
And what we saw at the Trump convention, which was, as you know, somebody, I forget exactly who said it, testosterone with Kid Rock and the Ultimate Fighting Champion guy.
Now that would attract a lot of young males. Yeah, they see that versus the guy who dressed in the Hellraiser outfit that was singing the black gay dude that always is highlighted in the Democrat Party. You see Hogan, you see Kid Rock, you see the UFC, you see Trump getting up, pumping his fists after getting shot in the face. Then you see the Democrats, and you see Tampon Tim out there doing this. There you go. That's who we're offering.
That guy.
And Hulk Hogan.
Dana White.
And all. Remember, Hulk Hogan actually ripped off his shirt, and he had another shirt underneath, which I think is not exactly what the rip off the shirt thing is supposed to be. But
you idiot. So now, first of all, Jake, crapper, fake crapper, how about you rip your shirt off and show your man boobs? Huh? That. You probably wouldn't even be able to rip your shirt. And could somebody help me? Someone get the scissors. Plus, the shirt underneath had a message to it. And I wonder if he's going to look like Hogan in his 70s. But yet he's trying to downplay that.
In any case, I digress.
When you do it, it's not like that.
I mean, just on the Hulk Hogan of it all. I mean, look.
Who, by the way, said something racist the other night.
I was just going to say.
Oh, now he's racist. Now Hulk Hogan's racist. By the way, he said something racist. You always got to slide that in because that's a characteristic of an alpha male too. You know that? Yeah, if you're an alpha male, you got to have a little racism sprinkled in with you. There you go.
He drunkenly asked a crowd whether they wanted him to body slam Kamala Harris. So I mean,
metaphorically, there's a lot of analogies and metaphors that I use that I always have to liberal proof and say, hey, I'm not advocating this. I don't mean to physically do this. I just did a show the other day talking about how those Gold Star parents were digging into Chameleon and doing all kind of stuff and cutting and slicing and cutting and punching and slapping. I didn't mean that literally. I wasn't saying go out and do this. These are analogies. Metaphorically body slammer, absolutely. Let's continue.
Talk about the kind of testosterone that they put on display at the RNC. That's what it was. There is a contrast that is going to be on display tonight here.
Exactly. And that's why y'all are leaking men. It is a contrast. And real men, you ain't even got to be an alpha, sees it.
Here, I mean, there are going to be people associated with Planned Parenthood, the Human Rights Campaign, the LGBT.
Human Rights, the LGBT.
They are going to be putting those people on the stage.
And that's why you can't get men. Associated with the LGBT, the human rights and this and that. Full-blown activists. So now I got to do stuff to be a Democrat, man. I got to do stuff. And I got to build into my schedule, my activism, and all of the agencies that I support, all the movements and stuff. I got to put a calendar, all right, that's LGBT, GTPTQ day. We got to go into this. Then we're going to the human rights and too much. Too much. Streamline that mess. Let's stick with the stuff that all Americans benefit off of. How about that? I'm not going to be sitting back adding to my schedule, building in activism in my life. Not going to be able to do that. And the fact that she brought that up is the exact reason why you can't be that filled with testosterone to support that party, to be in that party. Who wants to do that?
To talk about a different version of America, but for Democrats, it's always this balancing act between feeding the need for their base to hear these messages of affirmation about a sort of rainbow coalition, if you will, of their party, but they do also have to talk to the people who maybe they're not comfortable with the Hulk Hogans, but they do want the party to speak to them.
Let's listen.
Not comfortable with the Hulk Hogans, but they want the party to speak to them. In other words, men with low testosterone. That's what that means. Men with moderate testosterone should all still say, man, I want to be a Republican. I want to support, Trump. I mean, if you got a smidge of testosterone mixed with some common sense. See, that's the key. You got to have some common sense. Okay. Even if you are a low testosterone man, but you got common sense, come on over. Even if you're gay, but got common sense, come on over. I'm not discriminating against those folks. If you want to vote for Trump because you think his policies are better and you got common sense, come on over. Okay. However, a lot of men is over there whether they know it or not, because for some reason they're okay with the agenda and the priorities of the Democrat Party, which seems to never really focus on strong, assertive males. Not just alpha males, but just strong men. Don't seem to focus on them. And so I think, based on my evidence that I presented tonight, there might be a little validity to the accusation. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. Don't forget, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. I went a little longer tonight because, of course, we have a Friday night. The phone number on the screen, you can text MAGA to it. I definitely would appreciate that. And thank you, Don, and all those that participated in the super chat. I saw Don says, thanks for the participants. Yes, please do. Somebody said Gizmo cameo. Soon as I said, God bless you, he looked up at me. Now I got a black shirt on and his white fur might get on me, but I can't give y'all a little cameo. Yeah, he's about to grow his beard back because the lady cut it off. She cut your beard, Gizmo? Say hi to the people. He's trying to get along with there's the yawn. Always, never fails. He's not that sleepy. Unbelievable. Every time I pick him up, that's the first thing he does is yawn. Oh, he's funny. He's hilarious. Anyway, let me put on my man hat to tick off all of those folks that got a problem with masculinity as I get out of here. Because you know my saying. Only folks that got a problem with masculinity is men who hate being men or women who hate men, period. So God bless y'all. God bless America. You want to donate to the channel, you can. Links are below. And check out Kevin's Corner Store and follow me on all the other platforms. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I might try to get a little salsa dancing in tonight. Who's scared? This is our city. I know you see the 8s. Tear up the place, yeah. Take care.